Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a pretty grim rack. I've got the Z, which is good, but the rest of the rack not great. I can see cuz on my rack, which may be enough to tide me over, but it's not a promising looking start. I can't see any other Z plays from the tiles on my rack. Now, cuz doesn't play. I don't have an I for going under the Q. The U doesn't help. So, change or play? What do I have through the I? I could play grunt through the N. Although I've only got one vowel, it's the U, so I'd like to play it because it's not bingo-y. CRZ, not a bad keep. And grunt is obstructing the use of chin, so I think this is slightly better than changing. But 8 points, that's not great. Is there a way of playing the Z through the I or the N? No, don't think so. So, grunt it is. Wow, that is a good rack. That is very close to a bingo. I've got Grek Eyes. Grek Eyes doesn't quite play in row E. That's a real turnaround in terms of the rack. Now my I can go under the Q, so INT, IST go in that spot. Let me just run through the alphabet and see if anything comes to mind, either as a 7 or an 8. Now that's Grek Eyes. Wow, nice bingo by my opponent, 69 points. Let me just pause and think about what he's done. He has not provided anywhere for Grek Eyes. There are new floaters, in particular the N for a double-double, and that looks like it goes quite well with this rack. And then there's the I, not so useful, and the T, which also looks like it could be quite handy. So I'm keeping in mind T and N. Back to rise as a 9. Not seen anything yet. That's Grek Eyes as a 7. I feel like there could well be something here. With an N and a T. Well, I still haven't seen anything. Although that looks close. That would be Grek Eyes through a G. So do I have anything with this rack and an N or a T? Can't see it. Centrise, not good. Well, how frustrating. I thought when I saw this rack, it was promising, and it is promising, but it's not generating a bingo in my mind. So, where can I jettison the Z? I'm wondering if I have anything in column 4, Z something I. 16 minutes on my clock. No obvious Z spots. I can't get the Z in third place without burning the blank. Well, the best I can see is Zine, which does leave a nice rack leave and scores okay. It just doesn't score hugely well. Only 26 points. Well, I spent enough time on this move. I'm sure there was something better. And I'm sure I'm bingoing now. Zine takes a B and an S, so I've got corpsed in row L. Can't see anything with a B. What if that's blocked? Do I have anything through the G? Can't see anything. And, well, I can't see anything through the R, but there could well be. So what if... Great, it's not blocked. Wow, now. This is a nice situation to be in. A bingo-y rack, including a blank, and a 9 timer on offer, a triple. So, I've got score pad as a triple, but is there a triple? I'm just looking at this for inspiration before I run through the alphabets. Well, I'm not seeing anything. So this rack with an A for a dream start to the game. Not see anything yet. Approached, not good. 14 minutes on my clock. Now, is there something here? Not that I'm seeing. Can't see anything here, although the letters look good. Now that's compared and compadre. Neither works. That's score pad, and I don't think it has an anagram. Can't see anything there. Okay, well, I can't see anything, and I've spent a while, so... I'm going to put score pad down. For 86. Not great, W and U, bad combination. I do draw an S, which hopefully will be fruitful. I'm looking in row H for a 5-letter play ending in Z, can't see one. My B and W can both go underneath the O, but I can't get either to score twice. I need an E for going underneath the R and an H for going underneath the C. My U can go between Q and A. Can't see anything there. Onto a T, I would have wow bit, and that's tempting. It would score almost nothing, but it would sort the rack out. Keeping AS. I'm behind, despite score pad. My opponent has bingoed twice. Now, what about column 8? Down from the L. I can't see anything. Now, I've got a B for going underneath Zine. So I could play WAB. Keeping quite a vowel-heavy rack leave. Can't see anything better than that, which uses the Zine hook. $27 for my opponent. He's having quite a solid start. Doesn't provide anything great for me. So do I play WAB? Let me see the score. 32 points, pretty good. If I can dodge vowels, then I'm in reasonable shape. It would be nice to have something a little bit better than this. 12 minutes on my clock. Is there really nothing better than WAB, which uses the B hook and burns the W? No, I don't think so. I'm going with this for 32. Okay, that could have been worse. I draw just the one vowel. And I could have a bingo here. I've got the out prefix with soil. I've got the OUS ending. Now, do I have risoluto? Yes, I do. I have risoluto down from the R. So what if that's blocked? Do I have a second bingo? I'm 40 points behind. It's not blocked. Fantastic. So is there an alternative bingo better than risoluto? I don't think so. Not a great set of tiles. Risoluto for 68. And I draw the second blank. I've got a ton of vowels with it. That doesn't matter. I'll get rid of some of those. And then I will be bingoing again, surely. Maybe I could bingo with this rack. Possibly not. No, I don't think so. So, how can I get rid of some of these tiles? IU is the obvious play from my rack. Although I can't see anywhere for that. Nothing ending with the Z. I'm sort of checking in on that each turn. Easy to overlook. I can see nerts as one possibility, but I don't have the tiles for that. Now, anything other than IU, and is there anywhere to play IU? Again, this O looks tempting above this triple letter square, so I could play YEA in that spot, keeping AEU blank. All the U's have gone, so it's not as bad as it can be. One of the worst features of the U is how much your rack is damaged when you have two U's. That risk isn't present with this rack. And that remains available. And my opponent's created a new bingo lane, or two new bingo lanes, which is great. So, yeah, for 31. I could play that down here, but I quite like keeping the board open, given that I have the blank. Pretty good. That looks like there could well be a bingo, and there are two. I was going to say bingo lanes for bingos, 7-letter bingos ending with S, but column 14 doesn't quite fit that category, although a bingo ending something S would work. So I need to find bingos with this rack. I've got 11 minutes on my clock. I seem to have been running through the alphabet a lot. Sunbake, is that good? Or is it just sun-baked? Not sure. Not seen anything else. Wow, that looks like there's something there. Maybe I'm confusing it with something else. Now, what about unmakes? It sounds plausible and rubbish at the same time. Unspake. could both be good. So easy to generate candidate unwords, unrakes. Wow, and a new spot for a 7-letter bingo ending in S. And no S's or blanks out there. I've got the last one. Interesting. Great, I've run through the alphabet. And I've thought of a number of possibilities. What about unspake for 97? Let's see if this stays on. And I'm in a bad state if it comes off because I'm sure there's something good here. And I haven't seen anything which I'm 100% sure of. Wow, okay. I wonder if it's upspeak and upspake. I remember that as part of a twosome. And that's a shame. I'm 20 points behind. Bad time to phony, especially as now my opponent can score quite well in column 15. Unasked. So unmakes. I think that's the one I feel might be good, or the one I have the least doubt about. That's what came off. So what about this rack with a T? Yep, that's the risk. He's taken this really good spot, so now I'm left with a dismal spot, which opens up row O. And I'm 50 points behind, so bingo, opponent uses the triple word square, and I'm behind. So, unmakes is what I was thinking of. Let's see if this stays on. And I'm not quite sure what to do if this comes off. I guess play my K somewhere. But it hasn't come off yet. Maybe it's good. And if it stays on, I've got a good scoring tile in the J. I've got JEU at the top left. And I've got a 30-point lead. Let me look at the vowel situation, because there don't seem to be very many. Great, my unmakes have stayed on. My opponent's played off 2 vowels, leaving only 4 vowels out of 19 tiles. Interesting. And I've got a 6-point lead, so we're in for a pretty tight end game. And somehow I've got 10 minutes on my clock, even though I feel like I've spent forever going through the alphabet. Now, if I had an S, I could play jougs, but I don't. So where can I play my J and conserve vowels? Gosh, not many vowels on the board. I'm not remotely close to nerts. I'm 2 tiles away, but I've got the N and an E. I could play G's, but that burns 2 E's, but it does retain 1 vowel. That may be all I need. And it scores over 20 points, which is good, but not great. Job is good. So what about playing jog? 34 points, that's the sort of score I'm looking for, over the 30 mark. And giving nothing away. I guess I could have played that in row M as well. 35 points, one more point, but then my opponent could stick an A under the J. So I'm going with this. And I draw one of the vowels, which is great. Just 3 vowels to come now. And I've got 2 scoring tiles in the F and the P. I can play plug, hanging on to all of my vowels. 21 points. Quite a few scoring tiles out there, and they all need vowels. 2 V's, WX, 2 H's. Wow, quite a strange end to the game. All these high-scoring tiles, very few vowels. My opponent conserving his vowels or having none. 7 tiles left. 8 minutes on my clock. All the S is gone, so the biome S ending of no value. So this is what I was thinking of. Plug, giving nothing away, conserving my vowels, keeping a scoring tile in the F, keeping an E for going underneath the W. Only 21 points, not good. But I like the fact that it's giving nothing away. And I draw one more of the vowels. So, just 2 vowels left out of 12 tiles. And I've dodged the other V. And the board is tight. I can play few in row M for quite a big score. So I'm quite fortunate. I've still got scoring tiles and I've got vowels. 11 points for my opponent. He's taken my few spot, but he hasn't scored very much, so I've got a 30-point lead. My F can go in front of the Y, so I could play FE for over 20 points, and on a tight board, a 20-point score can be useful. Now, what about playing in row E? Well, I can play WE, but that's not going to score very much. The M is a blank. Now the NERT spot has been blocked. 2 tiles in the bag. Is there anywhere to play just 1 tile for a half-decent score? I don't think so. Now I could play few here. 24 points, which is a good score, giving nothing away again. Keeping these vowels in case I draw some of these heavy tiles. Yeah, I quite like this. Great, I draw a scoring tile and I draw a vowel, so I can see what my opponent's got. And he's going to struggle to go out in 2 with that, and I've got a 50-point lead, so I've got close to a stranglehold on this game. I can play EH. No, I can't. I can play AH for 20 points. And this board is so tight that one really is looking around for 20-point plays. 19 points for HE. 20 for hen. So I'm looking to go out in 2. So I've got heel for 24, leaving ANE. Well, I'm sure there are places. I've got yeen and lean and Sean, sane, Senna. Now, quail is good. No L's left. What about playing down from the L of Tyndall's? Nothing doing there. I could play wheel rather than heel. That may be worth doing if my opponent burns his vowel and can't make any use of the L. Mind you, the same applies in column 1 with the H. .7 minutes on my opponent's clock. He's taking his time, I think he's just got a very tricky rack. Very few openings on this board. He's been, I think, fairly unfortunate in terms of the vowels. There weren't very many of them, and of the few vowels there were, I have had the lion's share. And this is really not a great spot for him to be in, because it's a tight board and it's probably difficult to find anything. I can see he's got thanks on his rack, THANX, which is quite a nice word, but it doesn't go anywhere. And there's just very, very slim pickings on this board, very few places to play anything. So although the board looks like it's spread out and with very few ladders, there are in fact very few scoring spots. A lot of words take nothing after them or only take an S after them. 6 minutes on my opponent's clock. Okay, that's pretty good move. He does burn the last vowel, which is nice because it means that I can play heel for 24 points. I was going to say he can't stop me using the H and the triple word square, but I don't have a play. What I do have is ANE, which scores quite nicely. And my opponent could obstruct that, but he's not going to score very much, and he can't use the H. What about playing wheel? Does that provide anything better? I don't have wheel. Ween. Is HANE good? I don't think it is. What about playing Wayne? That's no good. 5 minutes on my clock. How else can I open up the bottom of the board? So, Ween I was thinking of. HANE, I'm pretty sure isn't good. So I think I'll go back to my original choice. Heel for 24 with the ANE underneath it. And if that's blocked, I've got lean or senna elsewhere. So the game is certainly in the bag. Just looking around for any spots I may have missed. 21 points for ANE. Yeah, 12 for my opponent. So ANE for 21. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which he does, and the final score. 399 to my opponent, 467 to me. A winning margin of 68 points, so a good game. Well, let's have a look at my opponent's racks. So, it was my opponent to start. Quite a nice rack. Cat and chin for 24, and I had this horror show. I went with grunt, and that's fine for my opponent. I blocked him playing tindles and chins, but I've given him tindles and grunts. There may be a bingo here, but I didn't see it. I played Zine, and my opponent has Amorties. So he's had a pretty good start. He's 135 points in the lead. I come back with score pad, and there may have been a triple there. Opponent's rack not so good now. He plays Mercy. I have WAB for 32, and I'm just 40 points behind. Horrible rack for my opponent. Loads of vowels, which is why there was a shortage at the end. He plays Quai. And now I have Risoluto, which is pretty fortunate because I thought the rack was fairly junky. Opponent's rack, that looks pretty good. No bingo. And I play Yeah for 31, and now I've snuck into a 10-point lead. And my opponent's got a grim rack. He has got vowels, but It's not a good rack. A lot of dis-synergy going on there. Plays foo, and now I'm in a position to really strengthen my hold on the game. I'm only 20 points behind, but a solid 80 or 90 point play in column 15 would put me in a very strong position. Instead, I phony, and opponent plays Naira, and I then play unmakes to go only 30 points in the lead, but opening up a good scoring spot in column 1. And this is my opponent's rack. Well, he could play Eruv, which would be quite nice. What does he do? He plays Goa for 26. Not quite so good, I don't think. I play Jog. Wow, horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. He could have changed. He could have thrown everything back, but he's 40 points behind. Divvy for 17. Quite a good score, actually. But keeping 5 consonants. Very tricky position for him to be in, because if he changes with a view to getting a bingo, there are very few bingo lanes on this board, so he's just in a tricky spot there. I play Plug. Opponent doesn't draw any vowels at all. Plays Tidal for 11. And he's in a desperate spot because he's 30 or 40 points behind. And with no vowels, he just can't come back. I play Few for 24. Opponent has now got a vowel. Burns it with Axe. I play Heal. Opponent plays Unth. And I go out with Ain. So, quite a good game. Quite an interesting spot in the middle with the unmakes rack. I suspect that makes several valid bingos, but it just shows how tricky it is to be sure of words which begin UN. I got one wrong first time around, but the second one stayed on the board. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.